Gyökeres.
Here's Gyökeres getting the better of Geyerhofer. Oh, brilliant run. Gyökeres, can he go all the way? Oh, it's absolutely majestic.
Madueke.
Madueke did well because it wasn't a good pass. Oh, it's brilliant from Madueke. What a goal! Noni Madueke!
Zubimendi.
Arrizabala's leap. Chance here! And they might just be back in it.
Norgaard.
There it is! A Cristhian Norgaard header.
Mosquera. Arsenal are not playing around.
Things are starting to get moving, aren't they, with regards to Arsenal adding new faces to their squad.
Every season they seem to come so close, yet so far.
They know that they've not done what they wanted to do this season, that they wanted to make this a Premier League title winning day. Mikel Arteta said those words himself, and it's not quite there.
But with these new signings, the team is looking better than ever.
But this group of players, I'm telling you, they have the hunger, they have the quality, they have the talent, and we're going to make it happen.
You can see where we were in the Champions League, we were so close. You can see where we are in the last 3 years in the Premier League, we're so close. We just need you to get us over the line.
A striker who scored 50 plus goals, a proper number 9.
But once again, in the summer, they have strengthened to try and push on now.
Then you have a Premier League proven winger that can make magic on his own.
There's a good potential there. He's an England international. He's only 23 years old. He will bring competition to the squad. He will bring character to the team.
What about a Spanish maestro in the middle of the pitch?
He's very good at what he does in that holding midfielder role. So I think Zubimendi is a smart signing.
And a physical beast to anchor the midfield who was a leader at Brentford. With all the other clubs around Arsenal spending money like me on Bet365, the Gunners knew they had to be precise with their signings. They did their business early and efficiently.
Martin, welcome to the Arsenal.
Christian, welcome to Arsenal.
Noni, welcome to the Arsenal.
No last minute panic signings or random purchases. They identified where they had to improve and immediately fixed it. New faces, new profiles, but the goal is always the same: to win trophies. Well, when you want to win silverware, why not bring in a guy who's won a few titles himself? He was a part of the Sociedad team that won the Copa del Rey in 2021. You might recognize a few other Gunners on that team. Then he won the Euros in 2024. Zubimendi is finally officially an Arsenal player. The saga with him lasted so long, I swear I thought Zubimendi was signed like 5 different times. Even his presentation didn't feel real because I was so used to seeing him just photoshopped into an Arsenal jersey. Now Zubimendi could have gone anywhere, yet he chose Arsenal. For over a year, Real Madrid kept tabs on him. Liverpool thought they had him.
Liverpool now and their midfield target Martin Zubimendi has decided to stay at Real Sociedad.
But in the end, Martin Zubimendi became a Gunner. Now it's not the first time a Spanish central midfielder has found a home in North London. Cesc Fabregas lit up the Emirates as a teenager. Arteta brought calm and class before eventually taking the reins as manager. Santi Cazorla was phenomenal, and even Mikel Merino has had some unforgettable moments in the red and white. Arsenal and Spanish midfielders just click. And Zubimendi isn't just any normal midfielder. This is a guy who came on as a sub for Rodri in a Euro final and the team got even better. He replaced a Ballon d'Or winner, then outshone Bellingham and shut down Rice. That's the level we're talking about. Arsenal didn't just sign a good player, they signed a maestro. There's a reason that everyone in Spain thought he would be the natural successor to Busquets. If you watch him play, you'll notice that he's always in the right places at the right time, keeping things ticking with simple passes and just smart positioning. Now he operates primarily as a defensive midfielder, usually the sole pivot in front of the defense, but he's not a destroyer, at least not in the traditional sense. Instead of relying on crunching tackles or just sheer physicality, Zubimendi uses his brain and footballing IQ. He dictates the tempo of games through his passing and has an excellent understanding of space. It's why he gets the Busquets comparisons. And now with Rice next to him, Arsenal have one of the best midfield partnerships in the world. These two complement each other very well. Zubimendi can easily play as the 6, which allows Rice to push even more forward if he wants to. Zubimendi is essentially an upgraded Jorginho. He has the same passing, the same footballing intelligence, but he can also dribble. He has the same press resistant quality. No matter how many players swarm around him, he never panics. With a drop of the shoulder or a clever turn, he just slips away from pressure. All he needs is a quick one-touch pass or a feint, and he opens up the entire game. His ability to receive the ball under intense pressure, often with his back to the opponent's goal, and still escape and find a teammate is a priceless quality. It means that Arsenal can play out of the back confidently, knowing that Zubimendi will always offer himself as a safe outlet. Because as much as I love Rice, he's not the best at consistently receiving the ball on the half turn. He can do it, but nowhere near as good as Zubimendi can. His passing range is another key weapon in his arsenal, excuse the pun. Now, he's not some flashy Hollywood passer who's going to consistently hit 60-yard crossfield balls at every opportunity, but he doesn't have to because his job is to break the lines and just find the open man. He'll drop between the center backs to collect the ball, then fire a quick pass through the midfield that takes out several opponents at the same time while finding one of his teammates in space. These aren't always the flashy assists that go on the highlight reels, but they're the passes that lead to dangerous moves. Defensively, Zubimendi is all about anticipation and positioning. He reads the game really well and is always thinking one step ahead. Now, this doesn't make him a softie when it comes to duels. In La Liga, he still won a high percentage of his aerial battles despite the fact that he isn't a super physical guy. In the 2022 season, he was ranked in the top 5 players in La Liga for ground duels and aerial duels. But for the Arsenal fans that want to see more physicality, well, I present you Norgaard. Norgaard is not the type of sexy signing that's going to make headlines. He isn't a player that's going to get you out of your seat, but it is a very smart piece of business from the Gunners. For £50 million, Arsenal have taken Brentford's captain. Now, he was cheap because the guy is 31 years old, which in footballing terms is like you're practically 50. But he's not being signed to resell for profit. He's coming in to improve the quality of depth. With Jorginho and Partey gone, Norgaard brings the physicality and experience those guys left behind. The Dane is fantastic at winning duels in the middle of the park. Only Moises Caicedo regained possession in the middle third more than Norgaard in the 2025 season. This is a player that helps you get back possession, is great in the air, and protects the back line like a condom. He does everything that you need from a holding midfielder. In a time where any bummy Premier League player can go for 30 to 40 million pounds, it's nice to see the Gunners actually making a smart purchase. No adjustment period needed, no waiting for him to learn the language or get adjusted to the physicality of the league. He's already proven himself in the Premier League. He's been Brentford's captain and one of the most important players for them for years. This means that he can walk into this Arsenal squad and just hit the ground running. His presence means that Arsenal can rotate without seeing a drop off in quality. It also means that players like Rice and Zubimendi can get a rest when needed. When you're fighting in the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and more, you need players like this. Then when he's on the pitch, Norgaard's presence means that players like Rice and Odegaard have more freedom to get forward. They can take more risks because there's a player behind them that can bail them out defensively. Yes, Cristhian Norgaard isn't the most glamorous name to join Arsenal. He won't demand the spotlight. He'll just do the job that's required, and that's the type of player every title-winning squad requires. Another signing that went under the radar was Kepa. He will forever be memed because of what happened between him and Sarri, but he's actually a decent goalie. As a backup, he's a phenomenal purchase. He's able to rotate with Raya so that he stays fresh for the season, and now if anything does happen to Raya, Arsenal don't have to panic. He was never worth the price tag Chelsea paid for him, and as a number 1 goalie, he can make a lot of mistakes. But for £5 million, and as a backup goalie, you can't really complain. Now, while Norgaard and Kepa were quiet but needed signings, Madueke is the complete opposite. Big money spent on a player that has Arsenal fans torn. The critics argue that Arsenal just wasted a ton of money on a player who, firstly, couldn't break into the Chelsea team regularly, and secondly, plays in the same position as Saka. So it feels like they paid a premium just to get a Saka backup. Madueke can play on the left-hand side as well, but that once again makes the signing look bad. Why would you spend that much money on a player then play him out of position? Now, these are legitimate points, and I do agree with them. At the same time though, I can see the vision for Madueke and the positives that he can bring. Firstly, one of Arsenal's biggest issues in the 2025 season, besides the lack of a striker, was the lack of depth. Saka went down in December and he had no backup. For years, the poor guy had been getting overworked by Arteta like an old sponge. Now you might say, well, Ethan Nwaneri was his backup. He was, but I don't think Nwaneri should be played as a winger. Don't get it twisted. I wholeheartedly believe that he should be played way more. But that boy is an attacking midfielder. Yes, he can still cook teams cutting in from the right, but he's way better through the middle. Now with Madueke though, Arsenal have another proper right winger. It means that Saka can actually be rested. It means the team can rotate without seeing a drastic drop off in quality. Remember, at one point in the 2025 season, Arteta had Martinelli playing on the right. The over-reliance on Saka was a huge issue, and now you're getting a worthy backup. So yes, the price is high, but the positive is that you're getting a player who is already comfortable with the league and the country. He's already friends with a bunch of the guys on the team, and he's played in some pretty big games. Because Madueke at his best is a good winger. He is a direct dribbler who thrives in 1v1 situations. His dribbling is actually his biggest strength, because not only is he fast, but he can beat defenders either way. He of course prefers going onto his left foot, but he has zero issues going to his right and either shooting or cutting the ball back. That's actually what makes him such a good dribbler. He is able to create separation to create a scoring opportunity. He isn't just dribbling for the sake of dribbling. He wants to create a bit of space between himself and the defender, because that's all he needs to take a shot. Madueke got 11 goals and 5 assists in all competitions in the 2025 season, despite not being a nailed-on starter. 7 of those goals came just in the Premier League. So there is this foundation to work with. And I think Arteta sees Madueke as this young, exciting winger that he can develop into an even better player. The problem with Madueke has never been his talent. This guy was rated quite highly back when he was still at PSV in the Eredivisie. The problem with him has been his inconsistency. He will have a dominant performance like what he did against Wolves.
Here's Madueke. Oh, he's done it! Sado stealing in. Palmer has Madueke with him. Here he is again from that angle, and he's scored again! And it's on again now for the hat-trick. Madueke!
Then follow that up with a series of performances where you forget that he was even on the pitch. His lack of end product is what frustrated Chelsea fans the most. He underperformed his expected goals by 2.66. So based on the chances he had, he should have gotten at least 9 goals, potentially 10, but he only got 7. The silver lining from this though is that this was the first time in Madueke's career where he underperformed his expected goals. In a new environment with a different manager and different players around him, he could easily get better. Madueke ranked among the Premier League's top 15 players for non-penalty expected goals and expected assists combined per 90 minutes. He was in the top 10 for shots per 90 and even higher for touches in the opposition box. Maresca actually valued Madueke quite highly. He started in a lot of games. He, like others, just questioned his consistency. He wanted to see more from the English winger.
As you said, he can improve in the last third. Probably after he scored the goal, he stopped to play. And this has to be one thing that we need to improve immediately, absolutely, in terms of never happy if you score 1 or 2, always you have to go for more.
Because the tools are there. Madueke is a quick and effective ball carrier. He is direct and will give Arsenal another weapon to use, because he can punish teams in transition, but he can also unlock a low block. In the 2025 season, he ranked top among all Premier League players for shot-ending carries per 90 minutes. His average of 1.98 successful dribbles put him nearly level with Saka, and a long way ahead of Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. So in terms of pure dribbling on the wing, he's better than the majority of options at Arsenal. I understand why certain Arsenal fans are against this signing. On paper, it's not the best piece of business that the Gunners have ever done, but he might end up being the piece that unlocks everything. I also think that if this signing was announced after the arrival of a striker or a proper left winger, the mood around it would be different, but let's see what he can achieve. Now, Madueke isn't the only player that has caused a divide in opinion from Arsenal fans. Gyökeres has done the same. I never thought that a striker who had banged in goals for fun for multiple seasons now would be seen as a polarizing signing, especially since Arsenal desperately need an out-and-out 9. The Swedish striker racked up 97 goals in just over 8,400 minutes for Sporting, so essentially 97 goals in 93 full matches. He won 2 league titles and 2 silver ball top scorers. The man was outscoring everyone from Haaland to Mbappe to Harry Kane. In the 2025 season alone, he got 54 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. He was scoring everywhere from the Champions League to the Portuguese League to even Nations League. Despite Sweden being knocked out early, he still remained the top goal scorer in the competition. But a lot of people still doubt him. After all, he's not the only player to look really good in the Portuguese League. Jackson Martinez, Jonas, Darwin Núñez are all strikers that dominated in the Portuguese league, yet they never replicated that form again. And the biggest reason that Arsenal fans have doubts over this guy is because of the way he gets his goals. If we look at this data from The Athletic, you can see that the majority of his runs without the ball are in behind. He doesn't come deep to connect with the play, instead he's looking to be direct. He wants the ball in spaces in behind, in the wide channels, so that he can sprint onto it, completely bully the defender, and score. If you look at his goals, they all kind of look the same. He is just too fast and too strong for anyone to stop him. It was the same situation in the Champions League when he destroyed Man City, so it's not a Portuguese league thing. According to Skill Corner, he made 85 sprints in behind the opposition defensive line in 2025, with each run being at an average pace of 25 kilometers per hour or more. That was more than double of any other striker in the division. Look at this goal against Boavista. Gyökeres receives a pass in the left channel, his favorite position. He's isolated 1v1 with the defender. He can go either way in this situation, but chooses to chop into his right, and while his touch is slightly heavy, he contorts his body to make sure he gets over the shot and puts it right into the bottom right hand corner. The fact that Gyökeres loves the left channel is a great sign for Arsenal fans, because in the 2025 season, only 32.9% of their attacking touches came in the left third. The right side was dominated by Saka and Odegaard, while the left side was more empty than Bonnie Blue's brain. The counter argument to this, however, is that the time and space that Gyökeres takes advantage of in the Portuguese league is not available in the Premier League. And Gyökeres isn't the intricate type of striker who checks in for the ball and creates these tiki-taka triangles. But even if he got 50% less goals in England, he would still be a massive asset. A 20-goal striker would help Arsenal out so much. Just having a direct outlet would be a massive plus. His work rate and aggression would give Arteta another tool to use in order to break down teams. I mean, look at what this guy was doing to Sturm Graz in the Champions League. Gyökeres receives the ball in the left channel, rolls his man, then drives past the 3 recovering defenders, dribbles by the keeper, and scores. A goal created from nothing with none of his teammates around him. You're telling me that opportunities like this won't arise in the Premier League, in the Champions League? I also believe that the presence of Gyökeres would actually make Arsenal a better team in transition. In the 2025 season, Arsenal were towards the bottom when it came to converting possession regains into fast attacks. So Gyökeres will at least give them an option for a direct outlet when they do win the ball back. He can barge his way through the defenders in a way that nobody else on this Arsenal team can. Look at what he was doing for Sporting during counterattacks. Just his sheer presence dragged a center back into midfield, which opened up the space for his other teammates. Then when he does face a low block, it's fine, because he has good movement in the box. A lot of Arsenal fans focus on the fact that Gyökeres doesn't score a lot of headers. It's a bit shocking for people who have never watched him play, because he's this big guy who's built like a unit, but he doesn't score headers. Having said that though, that doesn't mean that he's not good in the box. Here he is battling in the box with the Chavez center back Norgaard. The ball gets played into Gyökeres, who pins Norgaard back. He lets the ball roll across his body and finishes it with his left foot on the swivel. So no, he's not Kai Havertz in the air, but he has ways of punishing teams when he's in the box. And that's good, because in the 2025 season, only 4 teams attempted more crosses from open play than Arsenal. However, those crosses never really turned into chances, but that can easily be changed with the presence of Gyökeres. A quarter of the Swedes' touches in the 2025 season actually came inside the penalty area. So yes, he's at his best in open space, but his energy, his aggression, his anticipation in the box also allowed him to be a poacher. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Haaland, but they were saying the same things about the Norwegian striker when he first came to City. He was using his brute force and strength to dominate teams in the Bundesliga, and everyone kept saying that he won't be able to replicate that form in the Premier League where there's less space. Well, the Norwegian simply adjusted his game and used his freakish physicality to outmuscle defenders to score. Gyökeres just has to do the same thing. He's gonna have to find a way to scrap defenders and find those little bits of space in the box to punish teams, which, to be honest, he's already used to doing because he did it in England when he was at Coventry. The man has scored everywhere he has gone and offers Arsenal something different. If the Gunners want to add some silverware to their trophy cabinet, they're gonna need a striker like Gyökeres. While Arsenal need a striker, you need a jersey. Get yourself an Arsenal jersey at buygamejerseys.com and use code PETTALKS at checkout. The last signing I want to talk about is Mosquera. He isn't a flashy signing like Gyökeres or Zubimendi, but he's someone that's going to greatly help improve the depth of the squad. He can play as a right center back or left center back. He initially broke into the Valencia team on the right side, as he replaced a player that many Arsenal fans should know in Gabriel. Then in the 2025 season, he was moved over to the left center back position, but he can play both, as you can see from this graphic from The Athletic on your screen. Mosquera is described as a passive defender. For example, in the graph here, he ranks fairly low across La Liga for true tackle, which they define as a combination of tackles won, tackles lost, and fouls committed while attempting a tackle. And he also ranks fairly low in true interceptions, which they define as interceptions plus blocked passes per 1,000 opposition touches. Yet look how high his true tackle win rate is. That shows that he's very efficient when he does decide to put in a challenge. He is also ranked highly for ball recoveries, meaning that he's great at helping the team get back possession. This is a player who has stopped Vini and Mbappe in La Liga. He is athletic and intelligent in his decision making. He's also fairly good on the ball, with his pass accuracy increasing from 89% 91.9% to 91.8% in 2025. Like I said, he isn't the sexy signing that's gonna get you out of your seat, but for a very cheap price, Arsenal are getting a young, hungry defender who can perform when called upon. These signings can all elevate Arsenal to the next level. They already have a great defense with Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, and Lewis Skelly. Those four are impenetrable and should only get better. In front of them is Rice, a player who has consistently performed in the middle of the park. With the arrival of Norgaard and Zubimendi, we should see an even better version of him. To see just how good Rice has been for Arsenal ever since joining, you have to check out this video right here.